I'm Stephanie Bates. I've been attending Westbrook for about 4 years, and I'm currently serving on the worship team on the weekends. So growing up as a kid, I was the one that kind of went to my own drummer. I was the kid that was a little different. So I lived kind of two separate lives. When I was in public, I held all of that in and kind of towed the line. And then when I was with my family, I swung the complete opposite direction and became the really difficult kid. And so I moved for college, and in college I had a chance to what I thought was reinvent myself as who I really was. But instead, I was still kind of just going with what people expected. I finished school in 3 years, and my friends didn't. So when I left for my master's program, I left where I felt really happy, I felt really comfortable, and went to a place that I hated. Life kind of started to spiral in a really negative way then. Like I said, I kind of hated where I was, so every opportunity I had, I would drink or go out and pretend like none of it was there. In doing that, though, I also became increasingly aware of my depression. That got worse, and when that got worse, I drank more. And when I drank more, the depression got worse. So I went to a counselor, but the problem was my background is in psychology. My degree is in psychology, and I wasn't ready to do what counseling required. And so I told her what she wanted to hear. Of course, I wasn't better, and I just kept drinking, and it just got worse, and my choices related to that continued to get worse. So somewhere in my second year, one night, in a particularly difficult week, I decided that, you know what, people would be better off without me, without the difficulty that I was causing them. And so I decided that if you mix alcohol and prescription painkillers and muscle relaxers and a bath, something there will take it all away. I had such an obvious opportunity to do it that it scared me. I got rid of everything and just sat in my apartment and cried and cried and cried by myself. And it was that day that I quit everything. I quit drinking for about 6 or 8 months, completely cold turkey. I didn't touch anything. I didn't go out. I came across Westbrook kind of by happenstance. I worked with a family that lived in the area, and so I drove by. I came one Sunday, and I think I've come basically every Sunday I've been in town since. You know, theoretically, things should have been feeling better, and they weren't. Probably a year and a half after I started attending Westbrook, I was talking to Pastor Rob, and in passing, I said, I feel like my depression's getting worse, but I don't even know what I said after that. I kept talking like it wasn't that big of a deal, like this was some normal thing and whatever. And he was like, wait a second, you need to back up. If you're depressed, you need to do something about that. You can't just pretend like that's not happening. You need to get help. And in that same conversation, he said, I love you and I need you to be okay. I was 25 when that conversation happened. And I think that's the first time I felt like somebody loved me purely for being a human being. Because of anything I did or anything I could do, but just for being a person who was worth loving. And I didn't know what to do with that. When you go 25 years not hearing that, not feeling like that was real, that's a hard thing to hear, and it's a hard thing to respond to. If I could say one thing, it's don't waste your time hiding. Tell somebody where you're at. This doesn't have to be something to be ashamed of. Having walked through all of this, There are still days that all I want to do is drink, and I just choose not to on those days. I make the conscious choice to say, God, help me make the decision not to drink. Help me make the decision to call somebody and tell them that I'm dealing with this sadness or this horrible event rather than shutting down. Let yourself be helped. I'm Stephanie Bates, and this is my faith story.